What an incredible, like you didn't expect this the way it happened. You tell me, this is interactive time together. Is professional golf in trouble or is it not in trouble? Is the PGA in trouble, the PGA Tour? Is LIV Golf in trouble? What can we learn from what we saw this past weekend? Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel, by the way. I really appreciate it. And make sure if you haven't done already, I really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell if you wish. Also, if you would do this, last thing I'm going to ask is share this video with 2 people. Easy. Just send it to 2 people and say, hey, you need to listen to this guy. Appreciate it. I'd do it for you. Send me something. I'll share it. Rock and roll. Okay, here we go. So the PGA Tour, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry win in Louisiana. So they win the team event. And first off, little side note here, with all the hate that LIV got from these Golf Channel reporters or whatever you want to call them, hating on the team format of LIV, they sure love the team format when the PGA Tour does it. So it's just bizarre. Then what's funny is it's so rare and it's so random, these teams. It's just kind of friends and you could play with this guy or that guy. And, it's just bizarre. Remember, Matt Fitzpatrick played with his brother. Like, it kind of, you could look at that, a year ago or whatever, like, and say, oh, that's not right. But you can do kind of whatever you want, which is good. And it gives these kind of lesser known players an opportunity, which almost happened. Unfortunately, dude just missed. I mean, he missed. He kind of fanned that play. That was sad, but whatever. Rory and Shane killed it. I mean, they grinded it through. So congrats on them. But the big story is LIV Golf in Adelaide, Australia. What an experience. This event in Australia is kind of like the waste management of golf for Australia. It shows us a number of things. One is they had like nearly 100,000 fans out there supporting this tournament. It was the most fan-packed LIV event to date. So congrats, Australia. You guys show up. And they get professional golf on such a rare time. It just doesn't happen very often. The PGA Tour doesn't really do much. Like, there's not a whole lot going down there. A President's Cup, once or whatever, but not much is happening in the world of kind of professional golf down in Australia. And yet the fans support it like at a unbelievable level. There are stories of guys driving 13 hours across Australia to come see this event because there's just nothing like it. So it was phenomenal. It was a great time to watch. I loved every minute. They had the watering hole, which was kind of like that waste management hole where they surround the whole hole with, fans and stands. So that was exciting. And we have the first ever in the history of LIV team playoff. We've been waiting for this for a long time. The only thing we now want to see is an individual playoff and a team playoff at the same time. Because that's another level. Because let's say Cam Smith was in the running for the individual title. So he has a choice to make. Right? So let's say he's the team captain. He could say, okay, myself and Leishman, we're going to go and we're going to play for the team title. And I'm going to not show up for the individual title. He could do that. Or he could say, okay, I'm going to go try to win the individual title. And then Leishman and another teammate are going to go for the team title. You could do that. There's a lot of different options there, but that would be pretty exciting. So that's if the team title, one of the people on that team is vying for the individual title. And it would be even better if you had all the players in the individual title are part of the teams that are in the team playoff. That'd be cool. So regardless, you have a team playoff. So you've got the two Australians, Cam Smith, Mark Leishman, teaming up together, and they're going against the South Africans, Burmester and Oosthuizen. It's exciting. It was exciting. And the weight of Australia is on the shoulders of Cam Smith and Mark Leishman. That was absolutely just, I could feel the pressure. I thought Oosthuizen's putt was going to go in, but either way, just phenomenal stuff from those guys. Congrats. LIV just knocked it out of the ballpark. I don't know how, I guess, if you have some political thing with LIV, I guess you can always hate, right? You can always do that. But what they're doing in golf and the way they bring it around the world, to me, is pretty exciting. I think they're doing a great job. If I were playing on the LIV Tour, I could see how it could be a grind on some level, traveling so far for each event. Like they were in Hong Kong, then they come back to the U.S., then they go to Australia, then they go to Singapore, then they come back to the U.S., then they go to Spain. So you're bouncing all over the globe. Now, they are flying private, and it's not that bad, but it's still jet lag, time changes, all kinds of crazy stuff that you got to deal with. You're bringing your family, your kids, your wife, whatever. So it gets to be a grind, but I know it's tough to say that when they're just cashing checks for millions and millions of dollars, but they all aren't. Not everybody is, right? Like some of the people who get relegated out, they're not making a ton of money. They're getting taken care of while they're on the season, and they're guaranteed, a minimum. But hey, if you're not making the league the following year, that money's going to go quick, because now you're bouncing around on Asia Tour or some other tour where you actually have to pay a ton of money. So your money that you made on, the bottom of the rankings there is going to go quick. So but okay. I know, we get it. We're not going to complain too much because they are making a good amount of money. But needless to say, I could see how it could become a grind. Are we going to see players want to bounce back to the PGA Tour? I don't see that happening. I think there is going to be an agreement. We've talked about it. We'll get more in depth in future podcasts because more information is coming out, especially with what the PGA Tour announced, giving money to guys like Tiger Woods, $100 million. I mean, he could have made nearly $1 billion if he went over to LIV. So it's very strange that what they're doing with how they're allocating their ownership money stuff. We'll get into that in a future podcast because there's a lot of interesting things coming. But nonetheless, is the PGA Tour in serious trouble after this? Because this just shows now, at these LIV events, there's a level of going to be competition for location. So, for example, when they come out to Houston, LIV, and Nashville, the Nashville fans might say, hey, we could bring it like Adelaide. Same with Houston. We could when they go to Spain, let's bring up our game so that we don't look like nothing compared to what Australia did. I definitely can see that happening because LIV wants every event to be a party. They want the music blaring. They're playing Bob Marley. They're playing Dire Straits on that first tee box. It's electric when you're there, seeing it, hearing it, feeling the energy. Those guys are nervous. I'm not going to say it's like Ryder Cup style, but they are nervous at a different level than any other tour event because there's a packed first tee box. And if you're just a kind of a not very well-known player, there's only a few people that show up. Maybe, on the first tee box, there might be a lot, but you could be walking the course with not very many people. It's not that big a deal. Here at Australia, it's mobbed with tons and tons of people. And I think we're going to see that trend continue. Because remember, like on the PGA Tour, you got Waste Management. It's like one event a year, we're going to let you go wild and crazy. Right? Golfers gone wild. That's what it is. And it's been getting out of hand there. Here, LIV kind of says, okay, we're going to let you go semi-wild. Like, let's have a good party and enjoy golf. And you get that at about the right level of what you want. No one's going crazy. No one's streaking around the, hole, running around with nothing on. Like, nobody's doing that. They're just respectfully enjoying the game while having a great time. So I think we're going to see that trend continue. And Houston, I think, is going to be a pretty awesome event coming up, and then Nashville as well. But what do you think? Did this raise the game for the next stops? Or was this a one-off? Australia's just gets so little golf, they're going to go just nuts when they do get it. I guess that remains to be seen, but stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe because we have a lot of new information coming out all the time. And I'm just letting it simmer. I'm going through it. I'm making sure things are legit or not legit. I'm trying to check and double check information before we really get it out there, because there's a lot of wild things happening that are about to burst. So we're on it. We're on it for you guys. Thanks for listening. Subscribe. You can leave your comments down below, and we'll see you really soon.